Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors GNN review video. This week we have news about a new Black Gold power release version, and this time we are going to have Aria as the power release target. So without further ado, let's take a look to see what this week has in store for us at the GNN news. So we have Chalice of Eternity Aria available for power release. We knew that from the thumbnail, which is actually really exciting for me because um, it's always nice to have a power release for a black gold card because that means that they will see some play again, at least for a little bit before they get power crept again. We have next a collecting mission for Chalice Out Autumn Fair and a new horror stage. So let's take a look at the meat and potatoes of this GNN, which is going to be the power release for the black gold card, Chalice of Eternity Aria. So uh, her Seal will be coming back. For people that don't have her, you can pull for her and power release her. But before you do that, let's take a look at her skills to see whether she will hold her medal against endgame content and see if she is future proof this time and whether it is worth for you to spend your diamonds or would it be better for you to save them for upcoming collaborations or new black gold cards. So let's take a look at her new leader skill. Again, she remains a water human card. We'll have, let's see, water members and human members. Attack times 8, HP times 2, which is nice. Extend runes of movement time regardlessly by 2 seconds. Water, fire, and earth possess 50% the effect of heart runes. By dissolving 3 or more types of runestones in the same round, water members and human members have their attack increased by 3 times additionally. By dissolving water, fire, and earth in the same round, Aria launches 3 extra attacks, 1 each for water, fire, and earth. So honestly, this is a really good upgrade for her. In the past, I believe she was only actually I'm gonna pull that up before I say any like wrong information. But I believe that she was um, just a human leader skill. No, not this Chalice of Eternity Aria. Okay, no, she was also water and human members, but her multiplier went from 6.5 to 8 times, which is a significant buff for her, especially because in the current meta, 6.5 is already super low. Times 8 is the standard for a black gold card, at least in my opinion. The average right now is about times 7, so having her at times 8 will give her some edge in terms of power creep because it will still take a bit before we overtake a base multiplier of 8. Honestly, we might power creep it in the next like 6 months or something, but at the very least should still be usable until then. Um, the extend rooster movement time increased from 1 second to 2 seconds, so that's nice. Uh, the runestone position effect stays the same. If 3 or more types of runes are dissolved, water and human attack. So this basically already existed in her kit, except that you were limited to having to dissolve either water and fire, fire or earth, or water and earth in order to trigger it. Now you are allowed to dissolve anything in the same round. So this gives you more flexibility, and in my opinion, it's an easier condition to hit than the previous one. So this times 3 attack will be easier to hit, and then the 3 attacks actually also stay the same. So interestingly enough, her leader skill actually remains mostly unchanged, which it sounds like really good on paper, or like her leader skill looks really good on paper in my opinion, but I think it's because we haven't seen her in play at all in the past like 2 years, which um, yeah, looking back at her normal leader skill, this remains unchanged. You're only increasing her base multiplier. You're actually giving her more HP to give her more survivability for newer stages, and the runestone movement time increases to 2 seconds instead of 1 second, which is basically all that changed for her leader skill. Um, Granted, her leader skill is pretty good, so now let's take a look at her team skill to see if anything changed, which I feel that it might have, um, in order to buff her more. So, both leader and ally are Resplendent Devotion Aria, which is a power release version. Water runestones also possess 150% effective fire and earth runes, which uh, I think, let's see. Anyways, let's keep going. When current HP is greater than 50%, the next damage will not lead to your defeat. That stays unchanged. If current HP is 1 before Runestone movement, by dissolving 25 runestones in the first batch, dodge the first attack of each enemy in that round. At the beginning, modify water, fire, and earth runes to become human runestones. According to the member's number of attacks and attributes, turn runestones into enchanted human runes at the end of the round, to the max of 6 runestones to be turned each round. By dissolving human runestones, team attack times 5.5. Team attack times 5.5? Damn, okay, nice. Damage received from scorching areas minus 80%. Earth runestones also. Okay, so both leader and ally are Aria with an earth member in the team. Earth runestones possess 150% of water runestones, and if you have a fire member, your fire runestones will also have the attribute runestone possession effect. So essentially, water, fire, and earth will have the effect of each other at 150% efficiency, but you do need to run a earth member and a fire member in your team in order to benefit from the runestone possession effect for earth and fire runes, which in the context of an Aria team, she always wanted to lean into the water, fire, earth attribute um, archetype, which means that you would always run some sort of earth and fire leader member in them. Most notably, it would be freaking Circe or Medea, two of the witches, in order to boost your damage to insane levels. Nowadays, that is not that viable because the witches occupy a team slot in your team that could be used for utility cards that are there to break shields. Because if we look at Aria's skills, both her leader skill and team skills don't have any shield breaking potential in here. So there's no initial shield, there's no puzzle shield. You do have some dodging, which is going to be nice. But in terms of countering enemy skills and like shields, like puzzle shields, initial shields, things like that, she doesn't really have anything to deal with it in her passive skills. And that is going to be one of the things that I consider a very big detriment to running her as a leader, is that you don't have any shield breaking potential built into your kit, which means that you do rely a lot of your members. She doesn't have cooldown reduction, so you have to build up all your cooldowns in the stage, which is going to make your clear times a little bit longer. And there might be teams that clear stages faster, which makes farming a little bit less painful, things like that. However, her, let's see, her team skill actually got a pretty big revamp. So this dodging is new, I believe. Yeah, dodging is new, which actually it's very, very nice. Because yes, when your current HP is greater than 50%, the damage received will not lead to your defeat. That existed before, but one of the issues that she came up with is that if you're under 50% HP, it will kill you. And if you're not able to recover from 1 HP, then that means that you're going to suffer a little bit from your. Yeah, if you don't recover your HP after you survive the hit, you are going to die. For example, if the enemy has 0 recovery, or if you for some reason have Cassandra in your team, which actually might be a viable strategy now. But in the past, if you have Cassandra in your team and you're at 1 HP, your Tumbler skill disappears. and now you are very vulnerable to dying. However, if now you're at 1 HP and activate Cassandra, you will always be at 1 HP because you will not recover life. And now you can dodge the first attack of each enemy with 25% if you dissolve 25 runestones or more in the first batch, which honestly is a pretty difficult task. Um, yeah, yeah, it is a pretty difficult task. I remember she could dissolve 2 dissolve, 3 dissolve? No. Okay, I am crazy. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, if you have Cassandra and your HP is 1, then that means that you are able to dodge as long as you dissolve 25 runestones or more. Uh, it's something that you might want to do. It's also something that is very dangerous because if you don't dissolve 25 runes or more, you are going to die. And given that the board has 30 runestones, there might be times where you might get screwed over by RNG in terms of surviving. And so it might be a little bit of a challenge to always be at 1 HP, but it is a viable strategy. However, other than that, I think you do want to run a fire member and earth member. And now you have to focus on a lot of the shield breaking aspect of the game. So running triple witch, like in the past where we would run Cassandra, Medea, and Circe to reach insane amount of damage becomes a little bit less viable because of different enemy skills like puzzle shields, 100% HP reduction, equal combo shields, different attack shields, things like that. It's going to make team building a little bit harder because you do need to bring utility now to break enemy shields. Something nice is going to be the scorching areas minus 80%, which is very nice because not that many teams in the game have that scorching area reduction. So overall, Aria has a pretty good leader skill. She has a good damage multiplier, attack times 8 and then attack times 3 additionally for a very easy condition. As well as dissolving human runes, you get an additional 5.5. In the past, it was only 2.5, so this 5.5 is going to be absolutely insane for her by dissolving human runes. And that is actually not that hard to do because you do generate human runes at the end of the round, which is very nice, and it will sustain your increased damage through this team skill. At the beginning, yeah, modify water, fire, earth to become human runestones. So basically, you have human runestones at your disposal every single round, which means that this 5.5 team attack bonus is always active, and that is going to increase your damage potential by a lot. She has runestone possession effect, which means that building a water, fire, earth team is very viable, and that is going to be really good. But she does not have shield breaking options built into her kit, leader skill and team skill, which means that you are going to be relying on a lot of active skills as well as dragonic compulsion in order to counter certain enemy skills and not die to them. So in my opinion, her power release as a leader will get her to see some play, but given the difficulty spike in nightmare stages, calamitous stages, and endgame content, I do believe she is going to fall back a little bit compared to more meta leaders, because meta leaders are able to give you an easy time clearing these endgame stages and also turn off your brain at certain enemy skills like fixed combo shield, puzzle shield, things like that. You don't have to worry about them, you can just spin and kill them. Burning trail, sticky trail, things like that. Aria does not counter any of them. So even though she is playable, she will face some difficulties with endgame content. And yeah, she will be playable, but she will struggle a little bit with endgame content and more like higher difficulty enemy skills. Now let's take a look at her active skill to see if how it improved and see whether she is future proofed or not. So now we have a CD6 active skill. Explore all runestones to generate enchanted human water, fire, and earth runes of fixed numbers at fixed positions. And we see that we have it over here. This is the configuration of the board, which is very nice. You basically don't have to think about spinning at all. But yeah, if the team has only water members or human members, remove all runestones to generate enchanted water, fire, and human enchanted human water, earth, and fire runestones of fixed numbers and fixed positions. Same thing here. Team attack increases by 2.5. Damage will be dealt regardless of duo, trio, quartet, and quintet elemental shield. So that is pretty nice, especially for quartet and quintet, duo, quartet, and quintet, because given the position of your board, you're naturally going to be missing your light and dark runes. So being able to ignore your quintet elemental shield, duo elemental shield, these things is going to be very useful for her. The fact that you get to remove all runestones, that is the best type of removal, because exploding has its limitations nowadays. For example, if you have a grid enemy, they will prevent you from exploding them. Protected runes also are prevented from exploding. Condensed runes, petrified runes, all those are not explodable. But if you remove them, you are able to get rid of those debuffs or bypass that grid enemy shield and allow you to generate a good board to attack. Honestly, fixed board converts are also very powerful because it allows you to turn your brain off and have an easier time spinning. So here you already have a guaranteed 6 combo. So for fixed combo shields of 6, you just have to move once and that's it. Yeah, but that being said, her active skill does counter some enemy skills, but you're not addressing like other enemy skills like initial shield, puzzle shield, and things like that. So you are going to have to bring team members with that, and that is going to limit your team building potential for Aria. But yeah, so in terms of Aria as a whole, she is a good leader. Don't get me wrong. She has good multipliers, and she has good team skills. However, she is going to face a lot of difficulty with endgame content because of the sheer amount of enemy skills that we encounter in every endgame content. For example, Ignite Shield, Equal Combo Shield, uh, 5 Attribute Shield, or like you have to hit the enemy with 5 attributes. In that case, Aria, because you're running Water, Fire, Earth, you are not dealing 5 different attributes. Um, and your extra attacks are also Water, Fire, Earth, which means that you're not dealing light or dark. So you have to bring a character like the Pipi Molcar water card. You have to bring like I don't know, you have to bring like one of the initial shield breakers for initial shield. You have to bring a puzzle shield breaker for puzzle shield. So given the fact that you only have 4 team slots, depending on the stage, if you don't have that specific card, it makes it very hard to clear that stage, right? For example, if you pull like Dodgy, like Earth Dodgy, she could ignore most of the enemy skills, most of the board debuffs, so you can spill really easily. Caesar as well too. Lilith also can ignore some of the debuffs very easily, but Aria is still very honest, for lack of a better term, where she is a very good black gold card for the time that she came out in. But in the modern meta, her kit is very simple, and that works against her because we need a lot of more like utility nowadays. And so I wouldn't recommend pulling for her if you don't have her, because one, you can get her from ancient coin seals. I don't recommend spending 40 pulls to get her because as a leader, even though she's good, it is going to be very limited on the cards that you have in your inventory. It is not an easy clear for her to beat endgame content, and if you are lacking even one card in your inventory to break an enemy shield, the stage becomes pretty hard to clear with her. And so it is better, in my opinion, to save your diamonds for a leader that can actually give you the ability to clear endgame content more easily, more readily, and also get the cards farmed with more ease, um, to give you a better chance at expanding your inventory pool. In terms of achievements, I personally think achievements are not that useful anymore because you get spirit orbs. I personally don't ascend my characters, so it is 100% possible to clear stages without ascending them. So there's no like crafts that you're missing, things like that. So not even for achievements is she good, because she doesn't run a mono team. You are better off running a water, fire, earth team. And also your team building uh, potential is going to be very limited with her, because you do need to bring a lot of utility for certain stages. That being said, if you don't need to bring utility, she is going to be an amazing leader, because that is going to allow you to just burst through the entire stage with pure raw power. But that is going to be very rare and very far in between. In terms of a member, she is actually going to be a pretty nice member because of the fact that she ignores duo, trio, quartet, and quintet elemental shield. The very few times that I've run Aria in my team in the past year or so is because I needed a water human that broke quintet elemental shield, and that is something that she brings to the table. And now that she ignores duo, trio, quartet, and quintet, her utility might increase a little bit. That being said, do you need to spend 40 diamonds to get her as a member? Definitely not, because there are other ways to break these types of shield, and even though CD6 is pretty quick, you can find replacements with longer cooldowns, but they're cheaper to build. You don't have to spend 40 diamonds to get her. So in my opinion, I would say if you're a free to play or a new member or a new player, don't spend your diamonds on Aria, because there are going to be cards that come out that are going to be more powerful than her, give you an easier time to clear stages, and potentially have better active skills um, for you. Even if you don't have that much utility in your team, I think right now it is better to save your diamonds for the new Black Hole card or for the new Ancient Coin seal. You have the potential of getting her through Ancient Coin, so it is not that much of a detriment if you skip her now. But yeah, so in my opinion, Aria is a good leader, but she has a lot of limitations on her, which will make her hard to clear endgame content. And so, because of that reasons, the need for utility and the lack of like cooldown reduction, enemy counter skills, things like that, she is going to have a harder time clearing endgame content, which in my opinion, it is better if you spend your diamond somewhere else. Especially because we've gotten some really powerful water leaders recently. So we have Caesar as well as Metal Garurumon. So because of those two, I do think a Aria team will see play, but I do recommend spending your diamonds somewhere else. But yeah, now I'm rambling, so let's keep moving on to the next thing, which is going to be an item collecting mission. So I think this is guild. Yeah, so I think this is a new guild skill. Guild. Well, actually, this is not a guild mission. Basically, you're just collecting items, getting rainbow summon coupons. Um, in addition, summons may exchange diamonds for limited characters, including Passion, Volley, Aria, Wondrous Vocalist. Wait, Passion of Volley, Aria, Wondrous Vocalist, Aria, Illustrious Laurel's author, Arthur, Knight of Virtues' Arthur, Illusionist Merlin, and Merlin the Illusionist Sorcerer in the limited time. Oh, interesting. Basically, let's see. Basically, what it means is you can spend diamonds to guarantee certain characters. So if you spend 20 diamonds, you can get Illustrious Laurel's Author. If you spend 30, you can get or Knight of Virtuousness. If you get let's see. That is interesting. So basically what you're doing is you're like spending 5 pulls to guarantee Passion of Volley Aria, right? And then you're spending 6 pulls to get Wondrous Vocalist Aria. Yeah, so you're spending 20 diamonds to get the pre-power release Arthur. Or if you spend 10 more diamonds, you can get the power release version of Arthur. Right? Yeah. For Merlin, if you get Illusionist Anima, that's 20 pulls for a Merlin and a 15 pulls for her pre-power release version. So this is just a 5 diamond difference. And honestly, this is not a bad deal for Arthur, I think. If you spend 4 pulls on Arthur and then just power release him normally, you save 10 diamonds and this might be good. Arthur is a pretty powerful leader. He is kind of starting to see some falling out because of his multipliers. He is still usable. But honestly, this is not bad compared to pulling 125 diamonds in 25 pulls to get, to get his base form. You are saving quite a lot. So this is a bargain. All things considered, like if you were to pull in a normal seal, Arthur is guaranteed at 35. Yeah, Arthur is guaranteed at 35 pulls. But that is 175 diamonds versus spending 20 to get him. So if you really, 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 really need him, that might be a good thing. And I would recommend getting the 20 and then power release him normally. Because to power release him, you only have to spend some black keys, or you have to spend some you only need to spend some black keys, maybe restore your stamina once or twice in order to get all the materials needed. But all of that combined is definitely not worth 10 diamonds. So just get the normal non-power release version. Same for Merlin, if you so wish to get her, or if you really need her, except I haven't used her in a while, so I don't think Merlin is that useful. I recommend getting the non-power release version first, and then using resources to power release them normally, because those resources are definitely less than 10 diamonds, and those 10 diamonds are very valuable, in my opinion. For Passion Volley Aria, you see, I need to look up her active skill to make sure. Passion of Volley Aria, and also, so Passion of Volley Aria is, oh, she's the she is the Ultraman Taiga version of human. Ooh, you know what? Yo. Okay, how about Wondrous Vocalist? Sorry. Wondrous Vocalist. Turn life, da 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 da. Okay, basically, it's the Sensui and the Ultraman Taiga versions of Aria. If you weren't playing here during playing Tower of Saviors during the Ultraman series or the Yu Yu Hakusho series, these characters are the Madhead original replacements for those skills. Passion of Volley Aria has actually seen quite a lot of play in certain teams that I've seen on YouTube, because you do buff your entire human team, as well as getting switching, which will give you some EP skills, right? Um, yeah, yeah. Basically, I think, in my opinion, I think Passion of Volley Aria is worth, because you get the fixed convert. You also get a switching that will give you, um, yeah, you get switching, which is good, because it gives you like team attack and recovery times 2, as well as extra rounds of effect if you're running more humans in the team. And at switching, you also get to restore all runes to the normal state if you have 3 or more light humans, which is pretty big against certain enemy skills. So basically, you're getting quite a lot of utility for this um, Passion of Volley Aria. And honestly, yeah. Um, yeah, and in terms of Wanderer's Vocalist, basically this is a light human effect clearer, which can be useful, but is it worth 6 pools, like 30 diamonds? This one I'm not too sure. If you really, really want to, go for it, but I don't think it's worth that many diamonds, especially when there's other ways of removing effects in the game right now. Uh, yeah, she might be the light human that can remove effects, but is it worth 30 diamonds? This one I'm not sure. This one I do think it's more worth, but it's still like 5 pools, which I don't know if you don't have diamonds saved up, maybe not. Um, Granted, this is just a team buff and a board refresh, so it's also not that much utility per se. And this one just clearing effect, so you can clear up like step damage or like 99 round debuffs, things like that, or fatigue states as well. So this one, 30 diamonds. Here's the thing. I think it's a good skill, but the 30 diamond price tag is a little bit high, given that you can spend it somewhere else and potentially get other cards as well. So I will say, if you want to spend diamonds on this diamond exchange for rare characters, if you need Arthur, get the non-power release. If you need Merlin, get the non-power release and then power release it later. For sure, that is something I can 100% recommend. For these two, I don't 100% recommend them, because I know diamonds are precious and there might be better uses for them later on, um, because you could spend 6 pulls getting other characters that you might not have, like in a collaboration or something else. But being able to guarantee a character is also not super bad. Um, this is a decision that you would have to make for yourself, whether getting 5 cards versus getting 1 guaranteed card is worth for you, based on the trade-offs of your diamonds inventory. If you have a lot of diamonds, it might be good for you to guarantee this 1 card, but if you don't, it might be better for you to save for the next collaboration. So I do think this is a trade-off that you might have to decide for yourself. I do think this Passion of Volley Aria is more worth that Wanderer's Vocalist Aria. Um, that one I am pretty sure. But Wanderer's Vocalist Aria has a pretty good active skill of clearing effects in play, which can come to play very often, say, against Calamitous stages with the craft reset shenanigan thing, or it can also come into play with fatigue, step damage, things like that. But all things considered, I do think it is very situational. So spending 6 pulls, 30 diamonds for it might be, yeah, I cannot 100% recommend it, so this is a decision that you have to make in terms of trade-offs, whether you want to spend these many diamonds on one guaranteed card. But yeah, overall, I do think this is pretty interesting. Not going to lie, this is nice, and I'm glad Matter is doing that because basically it is a guaranteed character. If they do this more often with certain like broken characters, for example, if this were 30 diamonds for the Octopus Yoko or the Octopus Javanor, Fire Dragon Yoko basically, then that's like 100% get it. So I'm excited to see what other cards Madhead introduces to this guaranteed limited shop because you might be able to get some very broken characters this way. But yeah, so that is cool. Now we have Horror Mission, Prince Charming of Ukulele. So basically your typical horror stage, level 7 for clearing beginner, level 10 if you get all rewards in the normal stage. So let's see. Prince Debonair Yule. Oh, I thought he was definitely going to be a dragon card. Well, I was wrong. He is a light elf, CD6. Explode all runes, modify all runes to become runestones of the member's race in each column. Active skills of the team will not be locked, and the team will not be. Ooh, yeah, that's kind of good. That's kind of good. Um, the first two effects are just nice. They're not super. They're useful, but they're not. They don't offer that much utility in my opinion. Floating runes always nice. Get rid of like if you have too many dark runes, if you have too many like electrify runes, explode them, save your life. Runestones of the members race in each column, also very powerful because nowadays we are seeing a lot of leaders that get benefit from race runes. Yeah, so for that, being able to generate race runes is going to be pretty good. But yeah, but I do think the meat and potatoes of this skill is going to be the poison resistance for 2 rounds, as well as the active skills will not be locked. Keep in mind that this is going to be a prevention, not a release. So you do need to activate it the round before your active skills get locked. Otherwise, they will be locked and there's no unlocking them with this skill. So if you know the next round has an enemy that locks your skill, you want to activate Yule's skill first so that when you kill the enemy, you enter the stage with your effect active and your skill will not be locked. But that being said, this is a very powerful skill, especially on a horror stage card, which can be farmed pretty easily. You already get a level 7 by clearing the beginning floors 3 times, which in my opinion is very easy to do. One, because the enemy skills are very tame, and two, they give you a pre-built team, so you don't even have to rely on your own inventory to get these 3 clears. And 3 times is pretty easy. Definitely pretty good deal for you if you don't have the card. So definitely get a copy of this card at Dual Max if you can, because it is going to be very useful in the future, in my opinion. But yeah, Light Elf exclusive Dragonware, dissolving Elf runes, 1.2 attack, 20 or more runes, characters attack 1.2. Not bad. It's a free Dragonware. Go for it. It's pretty good. And then we have a new Area of Magic with a new character. Nice. Oh wait, is that Enoch? Dude, this looks like Dark Pit from Kid Icarus or like Super Smash. He just looks like a very angry Dark Pit. Anyways, new Area of Magic chapter added to the thing. The final chapter of the Era of Magic. Not bad, but you know, I am not much to analyze there. But yeah, so that is going to be the end of the GNN news. In summary, we have a new power release of an all black gold card. This time it is Aria. Her leader skills, in my opinion, have gold multipliers, but they are held back by the fact that you don't have any shield breaking skills built into her team skill and her active skill. Yes, her active skill ignores duo, trio, quartet, and quintet, but that is going to be it in terms of her enemy counters. With that said, you are going to be relying on your members to deal with most of the utility needs, which is going to limit your team building flexibility depending on the stage you're facing. And based on your inventory pool, if you don't have certain cards, clearing some stages might become exponentially more difficult if you don't have the required members. As a member card, Aria also is going to be very replaceable because her only utility is to break duo, trio, quartet, and quintet elemental shield, which you can break with other cards and Dragoncraft skills. So spending 40 diamonds just for an active skill is not recommended, and I do believe that saving your diamonds might be more worth because this is going to be 200 diamonds to guarantee Aria. Saving 200 diamonds might be more beneficial and waiting for the next Black Gold card or next collaboration seal where you can get more useful cards and expand your inventory this way. Next we have event collecting where you can get new rewards. That is pretty nice. Free rewards is always good. And we also have the diamond exchange for rare characters, which is a very nice addition in my opinion because you get some like pretty rare characters and you can guarantee them instead of having to go to hard pity in the drawing seal. Instead of spending 175 diamonds for a single copy of Arthur, you can spend 20 diamonds for his pre-power release version and then power release him later. For this one, I do believe it is going to be your choice to decide between the trade-off of spending 6 pulls for one character or saving those diamonds for another seal. If you are going to go for Arthur or Merlin, I do 100% recommend for you to get the non-power release version and then power release him or her later because it is going to be cheaper to power release them rather than spending 10 extra diamonds or 5 extra diamonds uh, for the power release version. For the horror mission, typical horror mission, but his active skill is actually pretty good. And this is a card that I do recommend for you to get a dual max because ignoring poison and avoiding your active skills from getting locked is going to be a very good utility, especially at CD6 is going to be pretty fast. And even though his skill is situational, I do believe when the situation arises, you will never regret having this card at dual max. Dragonware, that's just a free Dragonware with free stats, nothing to say there. And Era of Magic, the final chapter is coming out. So that is all for this week's GNN review. Please let me know in the comments if I said anything wrong or if I missed out on anything in the comment section below. And as always, stay tuned on my YouTube channel. I post regular Tower of Saviors content there, such as GNN reviews, card reviews, stage clearing videos, things like that. So make sure you take a look at my YouTube channel and make sure to leave a recommendation of other content that you might want to see in the future, and I will try my best to uh, follow those requests. But for now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. See you all!